Today I'm going to talk about a little different in terms of the worst case of emotional abuse in history. I'm going to talk about what it's like on the inside, what it feels like, parts of that.
John Myers has remarkably confronted the challenges of our time. Through his journey, John developed the philosophy that our goodness is strength. Together, we will change the world.
So I've spent a lot of time talking about, the notion of turning lemons into lemonade, challenge into opportunities, how having experienced what I call the worst case of emotional abuse in history, how it changed me and how much I matured and all this in the process. But I wanted to give a little more insight, to what it's like on the inside, kind of what it's like for a person who's assaulted by an extreme narcissistic psychopathic sense. And I'm talking emotionally, not a physical attack. The Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court said you don't need a physical injury to assess emotionally distressed damages. And, it's uncanny. I see in a lot of ways, this was incited by my brother and his wife, going back 40 years, and it's just so ludicrous, people who take germs or little pieces of, facts from childhood and blow them up into, massive emotional assaults. And I think this is where what the roots of narcissism are people who just have been injured in childhood and never, somehow close themselves off emotionally and just can expand to balloon into rages in adulthood that stem from things that they ought to or could have, potentially resolved in childhood. And I think that I saw a quote actually on X.com where it said, people who haven't experienced an extreme narcissistic attack, it's like, you're talking rocket science or something to them because you just don't understand how a world can be turned upside down. I mean, I thought it was like unfathomable that, my younger brother, David Myers, is, a director of an initiative to study hatred at UCLA. And, I said, it's just laughable because, here he's been filled with 40 some years of hatred towards me. And what's funny too is like how many people will go along with these grains of truth, to mob another person, where a whole group of people will get together and attack another person. Just again, his energy is more alivened than mine. Mine is more subtle, more gentle ultimately. And part of what I'm, looking to demonstrate with goodness as strength is that good energy ultimately defeats, remember the tortoise and the hare. It may take a long time, but the good energy defeats negative energy. But it's it's astonishing how many people can gravitate towards an attack on other people, and especially in today's day and age, where excuse me, where people take a certain delight in attacking other people and this kind of thing, and so upside down, the Alice in Wonderland, up is down and down is up, can be created by an extreme narcissist or a psychopathic assault, because they love to get an upper hand on the person they're targeting. And then another factor is that they'll attack with kind of, spikes and pins and needles. It's not just maintaining an upper hand. It's adding these very hurtful things. So, those are aspects of extreme narcissism, psychopathic assaults that are occurring in society. And I think people need to understand this, that, while we all kind of like tolerate a little bit, oh, they're just kidding, or, kind of jibing, teasing people, it's really got to stop in a lot of ways. We've got to put our energy towards, caring about one another. Society's at too tenuous a point that we could just play games. Think about it. You want to use your your energy just playing games, even if they're little ones, or do you want to use your energy repairing society, which is what the work with us is all about, becoming a societal champion, that mark of good housekeeping, of moral integrity, for society. And that's what most of us want, good companies, families, and individuals. So go to the website, learn a little bit more about how you can get this honor by working with us. And, people's emotions, our own actions are nothing to play around with in this day and age. We need to make, righteous decisions. There's not a lot of luxury left.